Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm back with an Aries reading. I'm really happy to be doing the star sign readings again. I had a bit of trouble getting started on those. So Aries, I did actually do a reading for you, but I didn't put it up. I don't know, there was something in the energy that just felt like it was the wrong time or something. But this reading today seems to have you back on track. So there could be a situation recently where you felt, just from the last reading, where you felt like you were naive in a situation and perhaps you felt like your naivety had been taken advantage of. So maybe working through that. I don't know if you've been processing some kind of like inner child stuff or looking at situations where perhaps you just didn't know any better, right? You weren't aware of the full details of the situation, or your enthusiasm got the better of you and you kind of didn't have all the information at the time to make a different choice. So there could be something like that that's happened to you. And again, you could feel very taken advantage of if you were particularly innocent going into a situation. So if that's what you've been going through, absolutely the cards have been telling me about that. Just to kind of validate that for you. That's not exactly what this reading is today, although we do start with a touch of it, which I'll go into in a minute. But also, I really want to say this because it was in the last reading. I was getting channeled messages and I had this feeling of a dog being next to me, like a dog being by my side while I was doing the reading. And I did mention it in the last reading, but I didn't put the video up. And then a couple of days later, an Aries friend was talking about how she missed her dog sitting next to her while she was doing her work. So I kicked myself for not putting that reading up because I thought if that's what somebody needed to hear, then it would have been a nice message. So I do want to sort of pass that message on as well. So let's see, Aries, what I have for you, there could be a spell, because the card that came through from my own little deck that I've kind of cobbled together was the desert, and the desert talks to me about like a dry spell, or maybe you've had a dry spell. I don't know. That's not really what I'm picking up on the cards, but again, like if that's what you're experiencing, you're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. But what I'm getting more today with this is like an information dry spell, like the information's dried up, the you know, you can't get the answers, you know, people have gone quiet, something like that. So you've got this feeling of like kind of being left in the dark, or just feeling like the answers aren't being given to you, or everybody's gone quiet or something like that. But with the raven following, the raven is a news bringer. You actually have this raven spirit here as well. So if ravens are particularly symbolic for you, you know, make of that as you will. But yeah, the raven following the desert is like after an information dry spell, like the truth comes in, the information comes in, like you will get the answers. Okay, so let's get you a song as well before we get started. Oh, it's 13:13 on the clock. So if 13 is a particularly relevant number for you, make a note of that. Maybe something is going to happen on the 13th of the next month, or maybe something happened on the 13th of the last month for you. So make a note of that as you will. It's also 13 on the temperature as well. So let me just show you this, just so you can kind of... Here we go. So you can see there at 13:13 on the time, 13 on the temperature, and 66% battery. So a lot of repeating numbers there. Do look out for number patterns. If you notice the small blip in the recording there, it's because I showed my location by accident on my phone. So I'm going to have to edit that out. Hopefully I remember. So yeah, 13 could be a very significant number. 13 breaks down to a 4, and 4s are about like stability, foundations, getting something done right. So those things could be playing out for you. Yeah, I was going to get you a song, wasn't I? Sorry, I don't know why I'm so kind of maybe it's just because I've not been doing readings recently. I feel a little bit kind of flustered. Maybe that's your energy or somebody around you, but I'm getting a very like flustered, kind of fussy energy. Okay, let's get you a song. So what's the song for Aries today, please? talk show host by Radiohead. Maybe that's your job. Maybe you're a talk show host. Maybe you're going on a talk show. Maybe you're listening to the radio. I don't know. Maybe you listen to a lot of talk shows or podcasts on the radio. Take it as you will. It's also from the movie Romeo and Juliet. So again, I'm seeing 111 on my timestamp, just because I stopped recording and restarted. So again, watch out for number patterns. A lot of number patterns around your reading. So yeah, I want to be someone else or I'll explode, floating up upon the surface for the birds. You want me? Well, come and find me. I'll be waiting. So I don't know, make that song what you will. Maybe you just really like it. And yeah, let's get to your reading. So the funny thing is Aries, and I don't know if this is a cross-watcher thing, like people watching for an Aries, but the card that I start the reading with is normally you. Like, it's normally the person watching, this is who I'm reading for. But I'm actually seeing this as you, this unicorn energy, and this as kind of like someone that you meet. So you start with the Six of Earth. The first thing that I got from this was this feeling of sorting out the presents, right? We're coming up to Christmas. Maybe you've been buying gifts, and then it's like dividing up the presents. So the Six of Earth is literally somebody's in a position to give and somebody's in a position to receive, right? Somebody is in a position of generosity, someone is in a position of charity. So normally it's a card about balancing out the finances, or balancing out the things, like the objects in a situation, and making everything sort of like very fair. So again, I think just because of the kind of the pattern on these pentacles, it's giving me like wrapping paper. So yeah, maybe just wrapping up gifts, making sure that everybody gets something of the same value, maybe figuring out how to do that. You know, maybe there's people who, I don't know, they always buy you a really big thoughtful gift, you know, that's expensive, that you love, you know, they put a lot of time and effort into that, and you kind of want to return that and give that to them, you know, not return the gift, but maybe you do want to return a gift, you know, Freudian slip, but like wanting to make sure that you give them something that is equally kind of well thought out and you know, special and meaningful and maybe expensive. You know, something that's well thought out and meaningful doesn't have to be expensive. Actually, let me just show you what my daughter made me. Yeah, so this is one of my Christmas gifts off my daughter, who made this in school, and it's felt and stitching, so it's not an expensive thing, but you can see like the time and the detail and the love that she's put into it, and it's just absolutely adorable. She's very like good at crafts, so absolutely going to treasure that. So yeah, but that's what I mean, it's like, it's special, right? She's not just gone and bought that up from a shop, you know, 5 minutes, here you go, that'll do. She's put effort into that, which makes it meaningful. So value, you know, pentacles isn't just money. Pentacles is also time, skills, practical knowledge, you know, things that can be invested, and of course time is an investment. So maybe this is something about balancing out your time. Have you been spending a lot of time on something? Do you deserve to get paid for that kind of thing? But again, Six of Earth is kind of about making things fair and making things right and equal, which, you know, there can be differences of opinions about that. I'm kind of also seeing possibly something coming your way, like a gift coming your way, or some money coming your way, or maybe an opportunity because of your purity. So again, if you felt like your naivety or your innocence was taken advantage of in a situation, you know, your enthusiasm was taken advantage of in a previous situation, just because of that last reading that I didn't actually put up, it was kind of like Page of Wands energy. I feel like somebody sees the value in this purity that you have. And again, do flip it and reverse it. It could be you see the value in this other person. But it doesn't have to mean that you're all sweet and innocent, right? It doesn't mean that you're like an earth angel, but maybe you are, Aries, I don't know. But it's more that it's almost coming through with purity. It's coming through because it's this unicorn card, look, with purity. And you also have this purification on the underline as well. So it's like the, almost like integrity, or the Aries being a sign that's very upfront and honest, and what you see is what you get, right? There's nothing hidden here. If I don't like you, I'm not gonna pretend to like you, that kind of thing, right? It's like your it's more like integrity, I guess, like or truthfulness, like your truthfulness, your kind of like laying your cards on the table, not playing games. That's kind of how it's coming through with purity. It's like maybe this is a particularly unique quality. I'm kind of getting workplace or like work family, but I don't know, it could also be your family. Take it as it resonates. But it's like in this situation, perhaps you're truth telling, right? Or you're like what you see is what you get attitude in situations is very unique. Perhaps you're in a situation where other people are playing games or other people are trying to manipulate situations or something like that. But I think you just showing up and being yourself and being very unique and very upfront and honest, and just really like I don't have time to read between the lines. I don't have time to pussyfoot around. I want to turn up, do my job and go home. It's that kind of energy, right? That's what I'm seeing today. It's like this pure spirit that you have has been seen and noticed and recognized, because this owl coming in, just to kind of show you these two cards here, this owl coming in, right? And you being like this pure spirit, it's like the owl is coming in with this Ace of Pentacles. So if there's a situation where something's being divided up, it could also be inheritance. I was kind of thinking about anything that I think about kind of randomly during the day before I do a reading kind of turns out to be part of the reading. So I was thinking about my own inheritance from my nana and how my auntie kind of went in and got like loads of the best stuff, and then I ended up with things that were a little bit damaged. And I don't think she wasn't doing this in a manipulative kind of way. She was doing this in a way that was like, I want to make sure that the important things are safe, right? So like I'm going to go in and make sure I take the valuable things and take them back to my house so that they're safe, you know, because there was like nurses and things coming and going and things like that. So then I got kind of things that I really, really value, but things that perhaps don't have necessarily the monetary value, but they mean a lot to me because they remind me of my nana, they remind me of my nana's life. So I've got kind of this statue next to me with, it's a wooden statue, but it's kind of cracked at the back and things like that. So, but for me, it's like the object itself has a story attached to it, and it has a story that reminds me of my nana and my nana's life. So it's like, to me, it's not about the monetary value. And then again, this is kind of the purity of this situation as well that could apply to you, right? It's about the joy you felt when you received that object or that offer. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Just let me, like, if any of you want to give me feedback, like hit the like button down below, or let me know in the comments when things resonate, because sometimes I do feel a little bit like I'm talking into the void. And it's only when I see people who have that star sign tweeting things that I go, oh, that was in my reading, that was in my reading. And it's like the validation then that it's like, okay, so yes, these Aries people that I know, they might not be watching my reading, but I can see how the things that I channeled in my reading are applying to the people who I know who have that star sign, right? Does that make any sense? So do let me know if it resonates or not, if you're comfortable doing so. And if you don't want to, that's perfectly fine, but it does help me out. So yeah, it's like this thing is coming in, and again, you've got a lot of things about like truth, right? So it's like a truth could be coming in about a gift you received, a truth could be coming in about an offer that was made, a gift, some money. It's like there was I'm getting kind of like more than meets the eye energy of whatever this pentacle represents, and then the owl is like the wisdom, right? So there's this imagery coming through now about kind of you being almost lost in the woods. Let me just kind of show you some of these cards together like this. So we've got all these kind of images of like being wandering in the woods, feeling quite lost, feeling like you can't really, you know, see the whole situation. This is like, you know, you can't see the wood for the trees kind of thing. It's like you're you've kind of immersed in a situation where you don't have all the details, you can't see everything that's going on, you can't see all the players, you know, it's like you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, or you're only being told a certain amount of information. Again, you had that desert card, so it's like maybe there's something where it's like a needs to know basis, or things are being kept from you. It could be that family are trying to keep information from you because they are trying to protect you with the purity card. It's like they don't want to make you jaded, or, you know, make you have to worry about things. So it's kind of like the less you know, the better, something like that. But yeah, again, it's like you feel like you've got this kind of like lost in the woods, restricted view thing going on. Of course, that's kind of metaphorical, unless you're literally lost in the woods, in which case maybe stop watching this video and use your GPS. Like you're you know, maybe use Google Maps, get out in the woods, get safe. But yeah, it's metaphorical. I see it as metaphorical. So I've got this feeling of like with this card, and I've got this absolutely beautiful new deck that I've kind of like gifted myself for Christmas. It's the Guardian of the Night Tarot, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm really, really happy to have, just in case anyone's interested in which decks I'm using, currently I really like using this size cards and these oracle cards, but I only have one tarot deck that's this size, right? All my other tarot decks are like, if I just grab one, comparatively, like all my other decks are like a different size. So when I do a big mixed spread like this, I like all the cards to be the same size and like a similar-ish art style. So I saw this and I just thought and it is a tarot deck, it's not an oracle deck as well. So this is the Good Tarot, which is the only deck I have of this size. And then I've got this Guardian of the Night Tarot, which is just absolutely beautiful. Like the images, because it's really nice because it's got like a multi-layered quality to it, where yes, it's a tarot, right? So I know the meaning of the Four of Pentacles, but then the images are so detailed and beautiful, and then it's got like animals on them as well. So the animals tell me something, like foxes I associate with being quite sly. So it's like I get to layer up the message. There's so much to draw from just one of these cards. So I think they're absolutely beautiful. You've got two, I think, in this reading. Where's the other one? Here, like the Ace of Pentacles, just absolutely just, there's just so much to it, right? Like the Ace of Pentacles wouldn't normally have this connotation of like the wisdom of the owl coming in and things like that. So yeah, really, really gorgeous deck if anyone's interested in getting a new oracle deck. Not affiliated or anything like that. I paid for this, I bought it myself. I just think it's gorgeous. So yeah, the Four of Pentacles normally has I mean, it can mean saving money, right? Looking after your money, saving your pentacles, saving for a rainy day perhaps. It can be a card about being quite guarded. I kind of see it sometimes as a card about having your shield up, right? Needing to protect yourself, which absolutely comes in because I'm kind of seeing the rabbit as you. Again, flip and reverse it, you might not be the rabbit, right? You might not be this childlike, innocent person in this reading. It could be that, because I'm kind of getting like two different energies. It could be that, you know, your grown-up self, your adult self is protecting your own inner child. Could be something like that. But then again, it's like this rabbit, because of the white, you see, it's like this rabbit's like lost in the woods, right? It's like, where are my friends? Where did everybody go? Like the birds are around, like, but it's like, where are the other rabbits, right? Where's my family? Where did everybody go? Why is everybody hiding from me? Again, you've got that feeling of like the desert, like it's like, why is nobody talking to me? And I feel like, again, because you are coming through as innocent in this situation, you're coming through as not having all the facts, or you know, things have been hidden from you. It could be something like your family are planning a surprise party for you, right? Like with that card being like the gifts, and this being like, it's almost like everybody's hiding, going like, shh, don't, like, wait until they come in and then we're gonna go surprise, because the moon can talk about things being hidden or secretive. So again, it's currently you just have this feeling of like feeling very, very uncertain, like feeling very uncertain, feeling like you're not sure what to do in this situation, is the way it's coming through. Then the really interesting thing about this card is like, you'd think that the fox would be eating the rabbits, but it feels like the fox is almost like hiding with the rabbits, or protecting the rabbits in some sort of way. So again, it's almost like, I don't know, you have this feeling of maybe worrying about people, because again, like the rabbit would worry about the other rabbits, especially if they were hanging around with a fox. So it could be that you're very worried about, you know, who your family's hanging around with, who your kids are hanging around with, who your friends, you know, like you know, maybe you're worried about people getting involved with the wrong crowd, something like that. Or you're just worried about, again, because like, can you see like the thicket of thorns, like the imagery on these cards? It's like, because you can't see what's going on behind closed doors, or you can't see what's going on, you know, when people go out of the room, or, you know, when people go into a meeting. It's like you're not privy to what's going on there. So you're worried about it. You're worried about, are people being deceived in some sort of way? Are people being sly? But again, you seem very innocent in the situation, which is, it's good that this guardian card is here, right? Guardians of the land, protection. So I want to say there's something where there's this, it's almost like there's this meeting, right, where you're kind of wandering or lost, like these cards, right? You're wandering or lost in the woods, and then you kind of out of the trees, or out in this environment, out from behind the veil, this deer appears, which again, you've got all this deer imagery. So if deers are particularly relevant to you, take it. Now, when the deer has the antlers, it talks to me about emperor energy, or kind of like fatherly energy, or patronus energy, especially with protection, right? Guardians of the land. But the deer, like the young deer, talks to me about inner child energy. And then it's followed by this card here, which is the Page of Earth, which this card specifically, I feel very, very protective over, because when I first got the Good Tarot, when I first got this deck and I was putting it back in the box, I accidentally bent this card, right? So the card's damaged. And then with it being a page, which pages can indicate children, or somebody who's learning, or like a student, right? They are the novice. And then he's like, he looks like, I don't know, he gives me Pisces energy, but it's an earth energy, right? But it's obviously Pisces being a water sign, but it's that kind of like, you know, I've got a Pisces little boy myself, and it's living in a world of imagination, living in a world of make-believe, living in a world of computer games and Star Wars, and, you know, that Pisces energy of like believing in the fairy tale, or whatever it is, like things that are a little bit dreamlike, that kind of Pisces quality. And I think children have that when they're young, and they get to this kind of age where, I don't know, maybe he's between about 8 and 11 or something, and you grow out of it, right? They get, you know, they don't want to dress up and pretend to be the king of the elves or the king of the fairies anymore, because like peer pressure stops them from doing that. So this card is a very emotive card to me. And I want to say what's happened when, again, this could be like a workplace, a family gathering, some sort of situation where you felt like things were being kept from you, or you felt like you were very uncertain and maybe naive and unsure of yourself in this situation, because you didn't have the full facts, right? There were things going on that you were not privy to. And then it's almost like in this meeting where maybe even your boss, right? Your boss stumbles out in front of you. Maybe it's like a works do, I don't know. Like, or it's like running into someone in the corridor, right? Meeting somebody in a kind of a liminal space almost. So running into this character, and I want to say it's the same character because of this card here. This card is kind of like tying them together for me. So yes, this person could be a father figure to you. They could be a boss. They could be a symbol of protection for you, right? Like say, for example, your own father, you know, that your own father who's meant to protect you. But in this moment, and perhaps you catch them in a moment of vulnerability, you see their inner child, right? You see their vulnerable self, right? You see a moment of innocence, a moment of purity, a moment of naivety, which I want to say is very, it's actually very healing, I want to say, to both of you, because this is then followed by the Star card, which is this beautiful card of divine healing and fate and wishes coming true, and just this very, very high vibrational energy. So I want to say in this moment, and perhaps this person's very startled again, maybe it is like you know, you see them at the office party and they've done something, you know, really, maybe they've had a couple of drinks and kind of they've let the guard down, and they just have this moment where, you know, they let the inner child shine, right? They have this moment where they have a moment of purity. It could be something like, you know, maybe for example, this parent figure or this boss or whoever it is, they have this, normally have a very professional demeanor, right? Or a very like a stiff upper lip, or you know, a serious face, but like they have these couple of drinks, they're wearing the party hat, right? And maybe they do karaoke or something, or maybe just a song comes on and it's like a really cheesy song, maybe it's like Rick Astley, right? And they just get caught up in the moment and they just suddenly like belt out a couple of lines of Rick Astley, and you look at them and you think, wow, I'm seeing the big kid in you, right? Something like that. And so it's really nice. And again, I want to say there could be a moment where, because this has family as well, right? So it's this moment of being like, oh, I see myself in you, or oh, I feel like I know you better, or I feel closer to you, or we're very alike, right? It's like your inner child, almost like Peter Pan and Wendy, right? Your inner childs see each other in that moment when this bond is formed, I want to say. And again, it's like a healing bond. It's really good. Again, it's like you know, maybe you thought this person was a bit of a fox. Maybe you think they're a bit of a fox. Maybe you're attracted to them. But it's like, then you soon realize, like with the rabbits, it's like you're all family. And so this is a really nice card of like with family, wolf spirit, and then the Three of Earth. It's like, this is a card about collaboration. This is a card about working together, being part of a team, building something, everybody bringing different skills to the table so that something can be built. So again, it's perhaps a situation where perhaps you started a new job. You were the new girl in the office, or the new boy in the office, or the new person in the office. Take it as it resonates. It's like you were the new person in the office. You felt very naive. You felt very unsure of yourself. You didn't really know what was going on, right? You had to kind of like learn the ropes. You know, so it's like opening doors and going into that office meeting and being like, oh, that's what this department does, right? It's like you're learning more about it. But it very, very quickly feeling familiar and feeling like home. And again, it could be like, you know, you and this person who perhaps who's like kind of senior to you, but they also say, you know, oh yeah, I really love that movie, I really love that toy, I really love that cartoon, right? It's like this familiarity moment. And perhaps they remember when they were the apprentice, they were the new person, right? So again, it's this familiarity. It's like you see yourself in each other, and you value the purity, right? You value the, it's like to be the new person in the room is valued in this place. It's not that, you know, nobody's looking at you and saying, oh, you're so naive, you don't know anything. They're saying to you, you're like a breath of fresh air, right? You're like an open window, right? It's like you're coming in with this new childlike energy that is actually very, very valuable. So yeah, I want to say there's this really lovely moment here. And then as you explore this environment and as you learn more about it, and again, it doesn't have to be work, it could be perhaps a new family home, something like this. But as you explore the environment, you find out more and more about it. It's like if you felt like you didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, every time you open a door, it's like you're met with friendly faces, you're met with people who feel familiar, you know, they have shared interests. It's just like the more you look, the more good stuff you find. So you've got Willow the Wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows. So really it's like behind each closed door. As you get to know your co-workers better, as you get to understand the job better, as you get to know the new situation better, it's like it keeps on giving, right? And then with Dragon's Hoard, protecting the future, there's something, again, you've got protection twice now, Guardians of the Land protection and Dragon's Hoard protecting the future. And I want to say there is this feeling of naivety. So again, flip it and reverse it. You might be the person who's a bit more established, who perhaps you're able to empathize and say, I remember when I was new, or I can imagine what it would be like to come into this situation that could be quite overwhelming, because you have overwhelm here. Let me make it easier for you. And this could be why I'm getting showing the ropes. This could be why the pages, whoever they are, right, the new people, this could be why things were kept from them. This could be why they were only shown one office or one floor of the office at a time. It's like, we don't want to overwhelm you, because perhaps this environment is you know, perhaps there's a lot to it. Perhaps there's a lot of different departments. Perhaps it, you know, things get very complicated. Perhaps things get very perhaps it's a very complex system, whatever this environment is for you. So if you felt like things were being kept from you, and perhaps you blamed yourself, perhaps you said, it's because I don't understand the job, it's because I don't have enough skills, it's because I don't have the experience. It's not that they were trying to, you know, if there was 6 pentacles and you were only shown 1, it's not because they didn't think you were capable. It's because they understood that it was better to understand one thing at a time, right? So it's like, once you master that first department, you can then go on to another department and learn more and more and more. There's like room for growth, basically, is the way it's coming through. So with Dragon's Hood protecting the future and Guardians of the Line protection, I do feel like perhaps you have some sort of mentor or supervisor or senior kind of person who is looking after you and just making sure that, you know, you're easing in gently. But perhaps, again, maybe they've been too gentle, maybe they've been too cautious, because as an Aries, right, it's like, you want to get stuck in there, you want to dive into the deep end, you want to, like, you're not scared, right? You're like, give me all the information, like, I want to learn everything. Like, that enthusiasm of like the Page of Wands or the Knight of Wands that I normally associate with Aries energy, like the Fool card, right? It's like, you want to jump straight in. So it could be that there could be a slight misunderstanding. Again, I think it's very, very a well-intentioned misunderstanding, where they could have been a little bit overly cautious or overly protective, and maybe you could have handled more than what they gave you, you know, and that's why you were left feeling a bit like this drought energy. But again, I want to say it was just because they were trying to make sure maybe you settled in, right? They wanted you to be settled in, they wanted you to feel comfortable, they wanted you to feel part of the work family before they kind of like gave you the keys to the place and said, go and explore. Something like that. So I want to say there is this moment though where you go from feeling very, very comfortable and settled to feeling a little bit of conflict, because you then run into, after the 3 of Pentacles, which is working together and collaborating, you run into the 5 of Air. Now the 5 of Air is a card about conflict, conflict of opinion. It can be verbal arguments, it can be a little bit of a tricky situation to navigate. It carries the meaning of winning at all costs, right? It's like, I will do anything to win this. I have to win this argument. My opinion's right. It is kind of a negative card. It depends, obviously, on how you handle it. And I do see you handling this situation really, really well, Aries, because you come in then with the Empress and all this self-assured truth energy, which I think is coming from this it's almost like this pillar, right? This this node of purity. It's like, this is the rock that you've built everything upon, is your unicorn spirit, right? It's your own truth of who you are, and perhaps being somebody who is quite unique, right? Unicorns are unique. So it could be that your uniqueness, your if you're showing up in Empress energy, like, or even not, again, you could have come in and felt very like you were not in Empress energy, right? You felt like you were in Page energy. You were like, I have a lot to learn here. But it could be that again, it's like, I want to say there's something about you standing out, right? It's like there's all these other doves, they're kind of like all the same, but you're doing something a little bit different. It could be that you're gaining recognition very quickly. You know, you've done a good job. You're kind of like, you know, those doors are opening very quickly for you because I want to say there's something that you're doing that's very, very positive, where you are, you know, perhaps with the star card as well, it's like you're standing out, right? You're being noticed, you're gaining reward and recognition. You know, perhaps you've been hidden in the shadows, you know, you've been in that kind of like tiny little office at the end of the corridor, but it's like now you kind of like up in front of the whole office pool, maybe receiving an award for, like, I don't know, employee of the month. It's something like that. It's like suddenly you know, suddenly being bigger than the others or something like that, right? Suddenly standing out. So there could be some jealousy about that. There could be some, a little bit of titter-tatter around the water cooler. I want to say don't worry about it. Definitely don't get involved in it, because I think that just makes you look bad. The energy is saying, stand in your Empress energy. Now, the Empress doesn't have anything to prove, right? The Empress doesn't have to defend herself. The Empress doesn't have to tell everybody what she's worth. The Empress knows her worth and stands in her worth. That's all she has to do, right? The universe is going to fight her battle for her. So you don't have to get into that scrappy energy. You rise above it, and literally she's rising above it, right? And hold on to your truth, because the Raven Spirit here is here with truth, and you have the blade, right? And the blade is like the sword of truth. So this is saying to me, with the Five of Air and truth, right? Five of Air and the blade, because the Five of Air is the Five of Swords, right? So 5 swords to 1 sword, basically, is the way I'm seeing it. So it's like your opinion, because the Five of Air is like 5 different opinions. So it's like your opinion, your truth, your clarity, that I think comes from a place of purity, right? So which is the best place for truth to come from. Again, it's like your integrity, right? It's like your truth that you are very, very clear about. Like, it's almost like dig your heels in. Like, yes, Aries, listen to what the other people have to say, but you don't have to be swayed by them. If you're sure about your truth, if you're sure about, because again, it's like Raven Spirit, truth, right? If you know that what you're saying is correct, if you know that your opinion is coming from a place of clarity and purity and good intentions, then it's like you only have to say it once, right? It's like, say it once, put your cards on the table, you know, throw your chips in, and then go straight into that Empress energy, where it's like, wait and see what happens, right? Because it's better for you to speak your truth and stand there in your integrity and wait to see what happens. Even if, I don't know, even if you got fired, right? It's like, well, at least you spoke your truth and at least you had integrity. Very, very Libran energy, which is the opposite sign for you. But I think, I swear another reader said this. As I'm about to say it, I'm like, I remember someone else saying this week. Aries and Libra are like polar signs. They're opposite each other on the chart. So there's a lot of differences. But what I think Aries and Libra can agree on, Libra being, you know, the Justice card and the Queen of Swords in the tarot, is this truth and integrity, right? Doing what's right and speaking your mind. And I think, you know, you may have disagreements. There could be a Libra involved, which is why I'm saying this. Or you could have Libra in your chart or something like that. But it's like, it doesn't have to be a Libra. Okay, get Libra out of this situation. I want to say there's you and another person. And again, it could be your boss, because the Empress can indicate a boss figure, you know, somebody in charge. Because you would normally be, if it was you, I'd say it would normally be the Emperor. So take it as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. I want to say there's an energy match, right? It's like you and another person both being in Empress energy. So it's like, this is my truth. I'm not changing my mind. Yes, I've listened to your opinions, but I'm sticking with what I know, right? It's not what I think, it's what I know. And yes, you and this other person may not agree, but I want to say there's a mutual respect where it's like, okay, we don't agree, but I can respect that that's your truth. I can respect that that you're clear and you have your reasons for having that stance, right? So there's this, I'm hearing bygones be bygones. And I've definitely run into this so many times in my life where, because I am Libra, I've got a lot of Libra in my chart, but I've also got Gemini and Sagittarius, so I'm very outspoken. And it's like, if I'm sure about something, I'm sure about it. And there's not really, I'll listen, right? I'll listen, and if I can modify my opinions, I will do. But if I know, I know. So yeah, I think, yeah, you don't have to. I think with the cat spirit and the Empress and the Five of Air, it's like, it's okay to be different, right? Just because in this situation, in this workplace, in this work family, whatever this is for you, in this family, you know, in this situation where, yes, you feel like this is home to you, you feel like this is a workplace where everybody's, you know, it's like one big family. Like, everybody's a wolf in this place, right? With the Three of Earth. It's like, if you need to be a cat, you be a cat. You know, does that make any sense? So hold on a sec. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. So it's like, if there is a situation where you disagree with others, right? It's like everybody else is on the same page. Everybody else is like, you know, say that you work in a team of 5 people and like 4 of them are like all decided, they're all on the same page, but you're like, no, I disagree, right? I disagree. I'm the cat here, right? It's like, claim your independence. So this is an encouragement, and it's number 13 as well, guys. So I don't know what number 13 is to you. You've also got it here as well. Yeah, it's like, if you have to go in a different direction, if you have to stand out from the crowd, if you have to really just stand in your truth and integrity and be like, you know, I love you all. I want to be part of this team. I want to be part of this family, but this is my stance. It's like, do that, because yes, you're going to stand out, right? Yes, you're going to, it might be difficult to do that, especially if you really want to bond with these people, if you really want to feel like you're part of the group. It can be very, very difficult to step out and be like, I'm a cat today, guys. I'm team, you know, everybody else is team dogs. You're like team cat. Everybody else is like, I hate pineapple on pizza, but you're like, I love pineapple on pizza, right? It's like, if you have to have the unpopular opinion, do it. Because yes, that is your truth, right? Yes, it's coming from a place of integrity, and you don't want to compromise on that. But there's also this thing here about wood nymph and beauty. Again, this feeling of like being different, right? Being just, you've got a lot of cards with the imagery of like, you know, standing out, being different, standing in your truth is almost like shining the spotlight on you. I want to say it is going to be to your advantage, right? Because you are, you had this, I know you had this constantly for weeks, this thing about, again, with beauty as well, this idea of like, if you look at kind of like teenage influencers, you know, girls who are joining the modeling industry or the beauty industry or just having that influencer life, they all have a certain specific look. You know, that one standard of beauty that everybody's trying to achieve, you know, whether it's like the Madison Beer look, the Ariana Grande, you know, Kim Kardashian is like, you know, the pouty lips, the chiseled jawline, the beautiful kind of like cat eyes. It's like, you know, the shiny glossy hair, you know, the bronze skin. It's like there's a specific standard of beauty that everyone is trying to achieve because they think that's what they're going to get. They think that's what people want. But then you have people like I can't think of her name. She played Robin in Stranger Things, who has a much more unique face, right? She doesn't look like that. And yet she probably wouldn't have got the roles that she got if she had looked the same as everybody else. So there's a benefit to standing out. There's a benefit to doing your own thing, wearing whatever weird clothes take your fancy that day. I'm not calling you weird, right? But against the grain is probably a better way of putting it, right? Where, you know, having whatever strange opinions you want to have that feel very different to, and I'm only saying strange because it's different, okay? It's like other people may be perceiving you as strange or, but it's not strange, it's unique. right? Which is a unique selling point. So keep doing the things that make you different. Keep holding onto your truth, onto your the core of your own essence, right? And don't try to follow the crowd, because that's not your strength, Aries, right? Your strength comes when you do something differently, and that's what gets you noticed. Because it's like you could have a room full of, let's go back to cats and dogs, right? It's like you could have a room full of white dogs and they all look the same, but in walks in this ginger cat, and it's like, oh, there's a ginger cat in here. It's like the ginger cat's the one with the attention because it's not a white dog. Do you see what I mean? So it's like there's nothing wrong with being a white dog, or there's nothing wrong with looking like those actresses and singers that I mentioned, because and influencers, because they're absolutely gorgeous, right? They're beautiful, but beauty doesn't come in a one size fits all, right? Beauty can be about creativity and uniqueness and personality and being an individual and standing out from the group. So it could be something like that going on, but I'm more seeing it at the moment as especially with the Empress here and all this stuff about like conflict, I think it's having a different opinion. All this like truths and swords and things like that, I think it's just that you have a different opinion to everybody else, right? And I want to say, being Aries, you're not going to compromise on that. You know, even if it's tempting, even if there's these moments of uncertainty where you think, I really like it here, I really want to fit in, but you don't want to compromise on who you are, right? Stand in your Empress energy, because that is your strength. So then Wizard of the Woods focus, I'm not quite sure what this is doing here. I want to say, with it being the Wizard of the Woods, it could be a character in your environment, right? In the woodland, which is kind of the setting of your reading. So whatever that environment is, right? The office, whatever it is. It's like there's a person who can make things happen, right? The wizard is like the magician to me in the tarot. So it's like the person who, maybe because he's quite elderly, it's like somebody who's been there for a long time. You know, they really know like the environment like the back of their hand, right? They're very, very familiar with the place. So again, it could be somebody who's very established in their career, somebody who's very senior, somebody who's kind of almost like part of the woodwork, right? Part of the furniture in this place. It could be that they're focusing on you, right? It could be that they're really drawn into your, again, it's really like integrity and truth. So it's drawing their attention, it's drawing their focus. But I want to say this is somebody who can make things happen. Again, with focus and this card here about curiosity, I don't know, it's kind of almost giving me, you know, like, is it Anchises? I can't remember whose name is. Action, right? Action, I can't pronounce anything. Studied classics, cannot pronounce a thing. So Achateon, I'm going to say, and Diana. So he's out hunting. He's out hunting stags and foxes and things like that with his pack of dogs. And he stumbles over the goddess Artemis, the goddess Diana, bathing in a pool surrounded by her nymphs. And he stumbles across onto her, accidentally sees her naked, and she curses him by turning him into a stag. And he's hunted to death by his own wolves. So I don't know if that. Not wolves, sorry, dogs. So I don't know if that is symbolic in any way to you. You can go and look that story up if it's speaking to you. If not, just kind of like cast it aside. But it's just because he's like on the edge of this pool. Again, I'm kind of seeing it as this person who can like make things happen, right? He's working some magic here. And again, it's like this person's a stranger to you. Sorry, my tummy's rumbling. Oh my goodness, that was a big rumble. I need to eat more. I've only had like they're called like a panettone or something. They're like almost like a fruit cake kind of thing. That's all I've had to eat today, and it's getting quite late. So yeah, it's like, why would this stranger help me out? Why? Again, it could be somebody from behind the scenes, right? Somebody in this environment that you don't know yet, but maybe they've been watching you. You know, somebody who can make things happen, somebody who can, I don't know, it's like, it feels like you're in the same place, but you don't necessarily know each other, but they've been watching you. It's like you've caught their attention because of your uniqueness, right? Because you are not afraid to be different and to stand out. It's like it's drawn their attention in some sort of way. But then we have this Dream Thief card, refusal of the call, and overwhelm and plenty. So I don't know if, again, because we start with an offer, right? We start with the Ace of Pentacles. I don't know if you're going to receive some sort of offer that is going to be extremely overwhelming for you. With it being like the dream, it could be, you know, like with the star as well, it could be that there's something that feels like a wish come true. But I want to say it could also feel too good to be true. You have this feeling of like uncertainty and mistrust, right? This is a strange situation. You don't know this person. It feels too good to be true. It's very, very overwhelming. So there could be a point where you say no to the offer, right? It's like, it's too much, you know, and you wanted to jump in with both feet, right? You wanted to take on more. You wanted to have more information and not have things hidden from you. But it's like, there could be a moment where maybe like the attention of this person is overwhelming. But I want to say, remember who you are. Remember this Empress energy. Remember this. Remember the strength of your independent spirit, your truth, right? And I want to say, if this offer has strings attached that are going to compromise your integrity, I want to say that you're right to say no to it. However, I want to say, if this feels like a dream to you, if this feels like something that you would love to explore, that you would love to learn more about, then ask for more information. Don't have a knee-jerk reaction where you just get overwhelmed and scared and say no, because again, it's like your dream is going to be pulled out from under you if you do that. I want to say because you're showing up so strong, right? You're showing up as an Empress. So yes, you might have a wobble where maybe, I don't know, maybe a bit of imposter syndrome where you feel like you're all dressed up and, you know, faking it till you make it or something like that. I want to say, just don't dismiss this straight away. Don't say no straight away. Ask for more information. Ask for more, just ask for more information. Even if this is a situation where you thought you were going to get an opportunity, you thought something was for you and somebody else got it. You know, you thought you were standing out. You knew that you were drawing the attention, and yet somebody else pulls that opportunity out from underneath your feet, and you're overwhelmed by that. Ask for more information. Say, don't be like, why did that person get that and not me? But you could say, oh, hey, I noticed that person got an opportunity. Is there anything that I could do differently in order to get that opportunity, you know, next time something like that comes around? So you can be like, how do I improve? How do I learn from this? You know, have you got any advice for me? That kind of thing. But again, 13 there again. So maybe like unlucky, I don't know. But that is what I have for you, and that is where the reading ends. So my advice is, remember who you are, right? Remember that you're this, right? Especially with all this truth energy. And really pull that from this place of purity, from your inner child, right? From the part of you that knows what's right. Okay, let's get you a song. Okay, to close out this reading, can we get a song, please, for Aries? Can we get another song for Aries? So you had talk show host, right? Radiohead. Can we get another song for Aries, please? So Baby, talking about the inner child. So Baby by Ariel Beesley. Your stupid smile, it gets me every time. You know all the lines that make my body shake. Remember how I taste. I remember all your lies, but you know what you're doing to me. You know what you're doing, and I see it clearly. Goddamn coward, you're such a baby. Always kidding yourself, never fooling anybody else. You think I'm crazy, but I'm so baby. So good at loving myself. Empress, never did need nobody else. I hate that look you give when I know that you want it. It's suddenly gone sexual. Like, there's nothing else that's like romantic in this reading, but I don't know. When I know that you want it, I know that you want me. That look in your green eye, it makes me want to scream. I want to watch you cry, but you know what you're doing to me. Yeah. And then it kind of repeats. So I don't know if you've kind of got a little bit head over feet about somebody. It's like they know what they're doing to you, that they know that they drive you crazy, you know that you drive them crazy. It could be one of those situations. It doesn't have to be romantic, but we'll see. I don't know, I did not expect that. Is there anything else in the underlying? I want to say again, with that feeling of like lead from a place of integrity in that kind of gorgeous Empress energy. It's like very compassionate, very open hearted, very understanding. You can speak your truth and not be, because this isn't like a sharp blade, right? This is not this is not something designed to injure. It's a decorative blade, right? So it's like your truth can be gentle, your truth can be divine, right? It doesn't have to be cutting or hurtful. Because in the underlying you have, let me just grab a couple of cards. So I showed you that you have that purification energy, but you've also got like these three cards, which is Queen of Cups, the Staff, and the Ace of Air. Now the Ace of Air is very similar to the Blade, right? And it's another kind of like magic horse. And then this gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous Queen of Cups with this, my daughter calls them murder Oreos, orca whales. But let's just ignore the type of whale for a second and just say that this is like somebody who like deep dives, right? They deep dive into their emotions. They're very emotionally intuitive. They're very socially intuitive. You know, they know what people need in a situation. And then the Staff being a symbol of leadership. So leadership, truth, and from a place of love, right? Deep emotional intelligence. So really, really gorgeous energy there again. Again, absolutely sort of talking to me about this Empress energy and all this truth energy that's around here. You've also got, like I say, you've got this gorgeous purification energy, pure spirit. I want to say that's you. Or pine spirit it says, but I'm reading it as pure spirit. Deep quiet meditation and stillness. Again, it's this energy of like, say what you need to say and then pull back, right? Speak and then listen. You know, you only need to say it once is the way it's coming through. Now I need to learn from that because I'm the sort of person who like I will double down. Like I will double down on my opinion. I am like, here's all the reasons why I'm correct, let me go through it in minute detail, which is very annoying. But again, maybe that's something I can learn myself from my Aries counterparts. It's like speak once and then hold back, you know, play them at their own game, say it and then put up your own thicket of thorns. You know, they don't need to know everything about you. You can maintain an air of mystery, and that's something that the Queen of Cups is really good at, the air of mystery, right? The intrigue. Like you want them to come to you and say, tell me more about that. You spoke your truth there, I want more information. Make them come to you. The Empress is like the honey to the bees, right? She makes them, or the honey to the flies, I guess. Like she makes them come to her. Like she's not chasing. And then you've got this koala spirit. Spirit has a plan. Koalas are gorgeous, right? So any of these animals, if anything's particularly symbolic to you, absolutely run with it. Another thing with the animals that is standing out to me, now you've got this wolf spirit and raven spirit. Now you can Google this. It's really interesting. I wasn't aware of this till recently myself, but wolves and ravens have a relationship in the wild. So they've actually discovered that some animals will almost make friendships and they will benefit each other. So ravens can act like an alert signal, like a warning signal to the wolves, you know, like there's another predator in the environment, or you know, there's some prey over here, come and get it. And then the ravens scavenge off the remains of the food of the wolves. So they have this relationship where it's like the ravens have a higher perspective, so they communicate to the wolves on the ground. The wolves will kind of like do the work and the ravens come and benefit from that. They have a very, very friendly relationship, and there's actually evidence of ravens playing with wolves. So especially like young wolves, like puppies, they'll come and kind of like nip at them and then fly away, and the wolf will kind of like try and pounce on them, but it's a game, right? So really interesting. Absolutely Google that if you're interested. But I want to say there's something here with the wolf spirit and then the cat and the raven and the three of earth. There's something about unexpected friends. I was getting something earlier today about do you ever have those kind of people in your life who you don't agree with them, right? Perhaps you've got a very different method of doing things. You've got a very different opinions about how the world works on right and wrong. You know, you come from a very, very different perspective, but like, you know that you're equals, right? And there's a mutual respect there. It's like, yeah, we don't have to agree, but we can still respect each other. Like, if you ever run into those kind of relationships, they're actually really quite special, because they are quite unique in that, you know, a lot of the times we go in little bubbles, like where everybody agrees with us, everybody is like us, you know, people don't challenge our opinion, you know, we form friendships with people who have very similar viewpoints to us. So to make friendships with people who have different you know, who have different opinions, and to learn to it's really interesting actually, this message coming through here, and to learn to collaborate with them, right? To learn to work together with people who are different to you. So again, it is coming through like work. It's not like again, it could be family. It could be family, you know, where family, you know, you could have siblings who just have very different views of the world. But it's like learning how to exist in the same environment, right? Learning how to not only tolerate each other, but value the differences, to value the different viewpoints, to value, you know, that people can have different truths for their own set of reasons, and that is important to them. And it's not that one truth is any more valuable than anyone else's truth, right? But you know, you can have a cooperative, a surprisingly cooperative environment, even when the Five of Swords exists in it, right? If everybody learns to approach that situation like this, you know, with compassion, with listening, with the intention to understand each other. Maybe you do work in some kind of like advocacy or something like that. And even you can see this here as well with this card, with like, you wouldn't expect the fox and the rabbits to be together, but they are. And you wouldn't expect a wolf and a raven to be friends, but regularly they are. You wouldn't expect like what, a fox and a badger, I think it is, to be friends, and yet you see them teaming up. So these unexpected collaborative friendships that occur in the wild can also teach us something, I think. All right, I really, really hope that this reading was helpful to you. Let's get you one more card to wrap it up. So can we get like a bit of a totem, something for Aries to watch out for? Fire, watch out for fire. References to fire, actual fires, can all be a message, a symbol from spirit for you at this time. So for the next week or so, watch out for fire. And the lighthouse, of course, the lighthouses used to depend on fire, right? They used to have to literally light a flame with the very old-fashioned lighthouses. So fire can be very, very important in certain situations. Lighthouses are interesting because they are a beacon, right? They are something that lights the way for you, something that can be used as a guidance system. But you're not, with the lighthouse, you're not supposed to move towards the light, because if you did that, you would crash on the rocks. So there could be a situation with fire and lighthouse, it's kind of like moth to a flame, right? There could be a situation for you, so pay attention over the next week or so, where something seems very bright, like the star energy. It seems like it's calling to you. It seems like it has that kind of like guidance or siren energy to it. But you're not supposed to go directly towards it. You're not supposed to get too close, like, you know, like Icarus and the sun, right? You're not supposed to get too close, because that could actually be a dangerous route to take. So it could actually be better to use the light from this, whatever this is for you, the fire, the lighthouse. Use the light, use the illumination to guide you on a safer path. Right? It is there to help you. It is there to serve you. You know, fire was given as a gift to humanity, if you want to look at the myth of Prometheus. So it is a gift, but it's a dangerous gift, right? And it's a gift where you need to know how to use it. It is helping you, it is guiding you, but it is something you need to think about, right? I hope that's helpful to you. It's really interesting reading. I've really enjoyed this reading. I'm really, really happy to do this. Looking forward to putting it up for you. And again, give me that feedback. Like the video if it resonated or you just enjoyed the story. Give me feedback down below in the comments. I love to hear it. Did anything resonate? Is there anything that could have been made clearer? And yeah, hopefully I'm going to, over the Christmas period, over the holiday period, going into January, hopefully I'm going to get all 12 signs done. I just don't want to kind of like rush it because it takes a lot out of me. So thank you for everybody for being patient. Thank you for everybody for supporting the channel, everybody who's subscribed. It's amazing to me that there's like, I know I get a small number of views on my channel on my videos, but I trust that they are finding the people that are, you know, they're supposed to hear them, and I kind of like that it's a little group, right? It's a little family, but I do appreciate everybody who subscribes, everybody who shows the support. It really does, it is meaningful to me, and I'm very, very thankful for our little family here. Okay, that's it. Take care of yourselves. I will see you again soon. Have a wonderful Christmas. Oh my god, again, it won't be on your timestamp because I've stopped and started, but it was 01/01/11 on my timestamp. So again, with all the number patterns, watch out for number patterns. Enjoy the holiday period, however you celebrate, and yeah, keep yourselves warm, guys, in winter. I don't know, maybe some of you in the southern hemisphere, like, it's so hot right now. What's that giving me? That's giving me Zoolander. Like, what's his name? What's his name? It's like Arsenal or something. Maybe somebody supports Arsenal. That Ansel, he's so hot right now. Aries, you're so hot right now. Take care of yourselves. I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.